Hello everyone, welcome back to a somewhat special part of my Inazuma 11 Victory Road Beta Let's Play, in which there will not be any gameplay. Instead, we're going to look at we're going to talk about the Victory Gallery. As I've mentioned before, there are some guidelines that prevent me from showing you the contents of that gallery. So what I initially wanted to do was to record myself unlocking all of these images. There are 100 of them, and I finally managed to get all 100 victories needed to unlock them. So yeah, I wanted to record my reactions and just share them with you, but these reactions turned out to be 2 hours long. And as much as I am sure there are some people out there who would love to listen to my lovely voice for 2 hours straight, I felt like that video was not going to be very interesting. So I decided to just record a whole new video where it would just be summarizing my thoughts. So it would be shorter and hopefully more interesting to watch, or at least listen to. Yeah, the watch part is going to be a bit tricky because I can't show you what's in the gallery. I can, however, show you what has been made publicly available in the past. There are already several illustrations, concept art, and so on that have been published on the official website, on the development blog, as well as some ambassador meeting presentations. So I'm going to, whenever possible, I will show some images that are available publicly. They do not come from the game, they just come from something that's been made public elsewhere. For example, I can show you this screenshot of the Victory Gallery. This is not from my game, so level 5, if you're watching this, please don't send your lawyers to my doorstep. I'm just taking this from the official website. Likewise, I have this video right here that has been published by level 5 on the official Inazuma series Twitter page. So again, I'm not showing anything from my game. This should be allowed. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm going to show from the actual gallery. Everything else is just going to be other images that you can already find on the official website and whatnot. Before we move forward, I want to tell you that there will be spoilers in this video. This is why I'm making this part 18.5 and not part 19 of this Let's Play, just in case you intend to follow this Let's Play completely. I want this part to remain optional. So if there are some story spoilers in this video, I will not mention them in the subsequent parts of the Let's Play until they happen in the actual story. For example, let's just take a completely crazy will never happen example. Imagine you're going through the gallery, just okay, there's a character sheet, here's a location, here's a concept art, and then you're presented with a picture of Endo, Mark Evans, being dead. Again, this is not in the gallery, this is not a spoiler, I'm just making this up. Like, imagine a picture of Endo being dead in a coffin and all of his friends just attending his funeral being all sad. Like, imagine there's a picture like that. If next part I'm playing story mode and Haru shows up, I'm not going to say, oh hey, this kid doesn't have a father anymore, his father is dead. I'm not going to bring this up until the story brings it up itself and it's no longer a spoiler. So yeah, I'm going to keep this Let's Play as spoiler free as possible. So if you're worried about spoilers, you can just stop watching this video right now and you can tune in next time for story mode, and I will not bring up anything that has been shown in the Victory Gallery. With that being said, let's start talking about those 100 illustrations. There are so many. 50 of them are characters, and about 50, I think 46 of them are locations. Now, the characters, a lot of them are characters that we already know. The first 10 or so pictures are the main cast, the Nagumohara team, starting with Unmei. This concept art for Unmei has existed since 2020, back when the game was called Inazuma 11 Great Road. It's nothing new, really. I really like his design, and I can't wait to learn more about him, especially about his past. There's one of the images that show us what he looked like as a kid. We actually got a glimpse of that in one of the ambassador meetings, and one of the interesting part of that image was, first of all, that he was wearing a football uniform, implying that he was playing football as a kid, but also on that that same image, we could see a version of him wearing what looked like a hospital gown. And now that I have the full picture in front of me, it really is a hospital gown. So it seems like at some point in his childhood, something happened, maybe an accident, maybe like something really tragic, so bad that it had to send him to the hospital, and that probably caused a trauma that prevents him from playing football. I'm looking at like little facial expression sketches, and like there's a disturbing amount of them where Unmei is crying. He looks really distressed. It's really sad to look at. So yeah, I really wonder what the trauma was that prevents him from playing football in the present time. We get to see more concept art of the other characters: Sakurazaki, Kisoji, Shinohara, Kodokai, and Shisendo. I really like these guys. I really like this team. It's like, we don't know much about these characters, especially Shinohara and Kodokai, who we really know nothing about. Like, we don't know what they sound like, we don't know what their personality is, we really know nothing about them. It's really strange because they took the time to introduce us to the rest of the cast, but these two in particular, we don't know anything. But yeah, I really look forward to learning more about these, learning more about Sakurazaki's past. We got a glimpse of that in the third trailer, and get the feeling that Chapter 1 will be focused on exploring his backstory, especially why he no longer plays football. And I really wonder if there will be some similarities with Unmei, and if that will allow them to connect and become friends. Also, a quick note about Kisoji. I really don't trust him. I know it's kind of mean to say this, but I really don't trust him. Like, the fact that right away he acts so nicely towards Unmei, like, oh, you're new in town, that's great, I'm gonna be your best friend, I'm gonna show you around. Like, I don't trust him. He seems way too nice. Maybe I'm just being paranoid and he's actually a genuinely good kid. But I mean, obviously he's going to be a good kid. Like, every single kid in this series is a good kid at the end. But I get the feeling he might be originally mean to Unmei before becoming his true friend. So yeah, I don't trust this guy. But yeah, besides the main cast, we get to see concept art of Yagyu from the baseball club. This guy really intrigues me because it's pretty obvious he's going to join the team at some point. Like, he's a main character. He's been on that key illustration of the whole cast on the beach. He's also on the title screen. Like, he's clearly a major character, and I really wonder why we only ever see him wearing his school uniform. We never see him wearing a soccer uniform. So I wonder why they're doing that, if it's because they want to like keep it a surprise that he's joining the team, even though it's pretty obvious he will, or if he actually might not join the team and he actually plays a different role in the story. I don't know. I'm really curious about him. We also get to see concept art of the baseball club members that we will fight in a soccer battle in Chapter 1. I like their designs, they look fine. We've seen them in a couple of trailers, and yeah, they're pretty much your average Inazuma 11 design. They look pretty good. Regarding this baseball club though, I have a prediction. I think the soccer battle against them is going to be the only soccer battle in all of Chapter 1. I get the feeling it will take some time for us to have enough players on our team to do a soccer battle. And the fact that they introduced focus battles really seems to me like they're supposed to be replacements for soccer battles, because we're not going to be able to do as many of them as in past games. So instead they're giving us those turn-based RPG battles to make up for it. So I really get the feeling that this soccer battle against the baseball club is going to be the culminating point of Chapter 1. Like, we spent all of Chapter 1 meeting all the members of Nagumohara, getting to know them a little, and then having them join our team. Then we have 5 members, and we are able to do our first soccer battle against the baseball club who's been terrorizing Unmei and his friends, and we get to fight for the right to play football at school. I really get the feeling that this is how Chapter 1 is going to end. This is going to be the one and only soccer battle in the entire chapter. Like, I don't think we'll have a full team to do a real match at the end of that chapter, so that soccer battle might be the replacement for that. One last character from Nagumohara that we get to see in the gallery is the teacher that appeared in the 4th trailer. We don't know anything about her besides the fact that she seems to be a teacher and she seems to be managing the football club. Like in the trailer, there's a scene of Unmei and his friends coming to her and saying, we're going to participate in the football frontier. So it really seems to me like they're coming to her to like, okay, please register us for the tournament. We are going to do it. So I get the feeling she might have that role of like being the one adult in the school that's managing this football club, because it can't just be Unmei handling everything by himself, especially if they're participating in an official tournament. So yeah, she might be the quote-unquote coach of the team, like the adult coach of the team. Next up, we have the Invincible Raimon team, starting with Haru. I'll be honest, I don't really like Haru's design. Like, I like the scarf. That's all I'm going to say. I think the scarf looks cool. That's the only thing I like about his design. I don't really like his haircut. It's a bit messy. And I don't know. I don't really like the way he looks. I like his role in the story, though. And like his entire character, I find him very interesting. Like the idea that he's a prodigy that's already at the top of football, even though he really just started playing, is really interesting to me because he seems to be a total deconstruction of Inazuma 11 protagonists and Inazuma 11 as a whole, really. Because that series is all about, kids who start from the bottom and gradually work their way to the top, who have to face many hardships, many challenges. They might lose a few times, but eventually they learn from their mistakes, they learn from their failures, and they become stronger as a result. Haru does not know any of that because he never had to face any hardships. He was just already very good from the start. He was already the best. So I really look forward to learning more about his character and seeing how his meeting with Unmei changes him as a person. He might be a really compelling protagonist. I can't wait to learn more about him. The next few illustrations show us the rest of Raimon's team members. More importantly, we get to know most of their names. So I should be able to show you on that one image from the 3rd trailer. We can kind of see some of them in the background. It's a bit dark, but I should be able to show you what all of them are called. This one with the blue hair and the glasses is called Tono. That one with the gloomy face is Shigure. That girl over there, I think she's a girl, is Hoshimura. That one, definitely a girl. Her name is Akasode. The goalkeeper is called Dantoya. Purple hair guy is called Nogami. That guy with the fiery hair is called Arashi. And by the way, I really like his design for one really dumb reason. Next to his character design, there's like little reference sketches that show his haircut, and every single spike of his hair is numbered. It's like they put little numbers on each of the spikes, like this is spike number 1, number 2, number 7, number 15, and it's like it really has this feeling of like, whenever you are drawing this guy from this angle, make sure that you show exactly 11 spikes. This is so funny to me. Anyways, there are 2 more characters I haven't named yet, and for good reason. This guy over here, I nearly lost my mind when I saw his name on his jersey. His name is Kido. Yes, like Kido, like Jude Sharp. I am so confused because he looks nothing like Jude. He looks nothing like Kido. Why is he called Kido? like technically, we don't know if he has the same name. Like, it could be Kido with a short O, not Kido. So, like, it might be a different name. It might be written differently in Japanese, too, and just be a homonym, maybe. But, like these things can happen in real life. Like, oh, your name is Kido? Like, that guy? It's like, yeah, but we're not related. It's just a coincidence. Like, that can happen in real life. But here, Level 5 named the character. They chose that name for him. So, like, they must know that we will immediately think of Kido. So it has to be deliberate. So I wonder, is he his kid? His nephew? Is he going to be like the son of the cousin of the mother-in-law of someone distant in his family. I don't know how they're going to do this, but it really seems like he's related to Kido. And the last one, I didn't mention his name because I don't know what his name is. This guy has long hair, and unfortunately his long hair is hiding his name on this jersey, so I don't know what it is. But we can kind of make out the first letter, which looks like a T, and the final letter, we only just see one stick, so it could be like part of an N or something, but it could also be an I. And that makes me think, what if his name is Tsunami? Like, what if he's a descendant of Tsunami, of Hurley Kane? Because when you look at him, he kind of makes me think of him. Like, he has dark skin, his hair is like blue and all wavy, and it kind of makes you think like of seawater, which would fit well with Tsunami. And also he has that like smiling, laid-back attitude to him. So I wonder, are they related? That would be so weird and so random too. Like, why Tsunami if that's the case? So yeah, I'm really, really confused about this character. The worst thing is that, like, he looks like he could be called Tsunami in a Japanese anime. like without knowing anything about Inazuma 11, if I just show you this guy and told you his name is Tsunami, you'd probably say, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I'm really curious now. There are two more characters after the Raimon team whom I think are related to them. The first one is a woman wearing a tracksuit that really makes me think of Raimon. Has that dark blue and yellow color scheme, which really makes me think of Raimon's uniform. And I don't know, the fact that she's right after Raimon makes me think she's related to the team, maybe as a manager or like an assistant to the coach or something. I really, really like her design. She has some like light green hair, it's very fluffy. She kind of reminds me of a character from another gamer anime. I don't know where I've seen a similar design, and I've been looking for one to show you, but I couldn't find anything to resemble that. So that's all I can tell you. She has green fluffy hair. And I really, really like her design. I want to learn more about her. I already love her. The second character who I think is related to Raimon is a man who's like wearing a very elegant suit. And I wonder if he might be like maybe the director or even better, the coach of the team. There are two reasons why I think that. The first one is because he is placed right after Raimon in the gallery, and it really seems like for each team they're showing the players and then the adults who are managing the team. So like his placement in the gallery makes me think, okay, he is involved with Raimon's team. The second reason I think that is because he really, really looks like a villain. like he looks really nice, but in a I am secretly a bad guy kind of nice. You know what I mean? Like he has like a really really nice smiling face. He looks like, may I offer you some tea kind of guy, you know? But he also has like some parts of his design makes me think, oh, he's actually evil. Like his hair has two colors. It's like blonde and brown. And it really makes you think like, like two colors, two-faced, he might actually be a villain. And one of his facial expressions in the reference sheet shows him with like his hair flying and his eyes being empty. And it really looks like, he's getting like super angry, entering his one-winged angel form. So I don't know. Something about him really screams, I'm secretly the villain of this story. And it would be kind of fitting to have Raimon's coach be the final boss. Because when you think about it, the main character, Unmei, is a manager, and unless they decide to make him play on the pitch for the final game, they might do that. I really hope they don't. If they really stick to the idea that, no, he's a manager, he's staying a manager until the end, he would need to fight someone, it would be really weird to have all the support cast, quote-unquote support cast, fight the final boss on the pitch, but have Unmei just being on the sidelines, just watching and telling them to use tactics every now and then. You know what I mean? So because they're painting Raimon to be this final boss-ish kind of team. Maybe they'll be replaced by a secret final boss at the very end. But like, it really feels like they're building up Raimon to be the final boss. And it wouldn't really make sense, like, while Nagumohara is fighting Raimon's team on the pitch, Unmei, the main character, will be fighting his evil equivalent, I guess you could say, who would be Raimon's coach. So it'd be like coach versus coach. Unmei's vision of football versus that guy's vision of football. So I really, really think he might be the villain, and I think it would work really well to have him as a kind of a foil to Unmei. After Raimon, we get to see a new team. We don't know what they're called, but we kind of got glimpses of that team before. First off, there was this little preview of the Victory Gallery in one of the ambassador meetings, where we got to see their captain. We know his name. His name is Soramiya. He also appeared in the 5th trailer at the very end in one very short cutscene. But yeah, he's the captain of that team. The other character who we've seen a glimpse of, his name is Tomobe. I don't know much about football and about jersey numbers, but he's number 10, and I think number 10 is like the main forward, like the main striker of the team. So I guess that's his position. He's a forward. The other team members, I guess I could give you their names, but like I don't have any image to show you, so it wouldn't be very interesting. All I will say is that I really, really like their goalkeeper. I really like his design. He has a haircut that kind of reminds me of Tetsukado from Galaxy, and also I really like the goalkeeper's uniform. It's like black with a teal green color instead of the yellow for the sun. It looks really, really good. But yeah, that's a whole team. The fact that it's in the gallery makes me think they will appear in Chapter 1. I don't think we'll get to fight them, though. I think it's more going to be like Raimon fights against them in Chapter 1, and we get to see the aftermath of that, just to get a preview of how strong Raimon is. But Nagumohara is not going to fight them in Chapter 1. I have reasons to believe that, and I will talk about them shortly when we talk about the locations. For now, I'll just say this team looks really cool, and I can't wait to learn more about them. One thing I also want to learn more about is a certain adult character that shows up right after them in the gallery. Again, considering what I said before, I think he might be that team's coach because he shows up immediately after the players. That guy looks suspiciously like Arata from Mikage Senno, Neil Turner from, I don't remember what the English name is, Brainwashing or something, Brainwashing Institute. They're called Cybertech in French, which I'm just used to calling them Cybertech. Yeah, that guy really looks like him as an adult. He has the same kind of haircut, the same eyes. For some reason, though, his hair is a bit lighter compared to the haircut we've seen in the original game, so I'm not sure if it's really him, but the resemblance is uncanny. So I wonder if it might be him, and like 25 years later, he's just the coach for that team. It would be such a really random inclusion, but I guess it could work. I think he's popular, right? He's popular with the kids. Is he? Isn't he? I don't know. After that, it's a bunch of minor characters. There's a young girl whom we've never seen before. I'm really curious about her, if she's a friend of Unmei or maybe of another character. She has a kind of pinkish nose, so maybe she's related to Unmei. I don't know if it's like a family trait, like everyone in the family has a pink nose. But yeah, she's just a girl. That's all I can say about it. It's just a regular girl. She's not wearing a football uniform or anything. She's just wearing normal clothes. So maybe she's a friend of one of the main characters. We get to see concept art of Kakuma and also the other commentator, Donnie Summerfield. I believe his English name is. I forgot what his Japanese name is. Summerfield looks really basic. Like, he could have been in any manga, anime, video game. Like, he's just a guy. Kakuma, though, man, he looks so good. He has aged wonderfully. I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy he got to do his dream job. He looks really cool. Looks handsome. I love Kakuma. Then it's a bunch of other adults who I suspect might be the parents of the main cast. There's a man with dark skin, dark hair, wearing a really nice suit. I think he might be Sakurazaki's dad. They kind of have the same face, the same eyes. I think they're related. And I wonder if he might be one of the reasons why he no longer plays football. I really wonder what his relationship with his dad is. There's an adult woman who kind of reminds me of Unmei. She seems to have somewhat familiar eyes, so I wonder if she might be his mom. And then there's a guy, I don't know, when I saw him I immediately thought Kisoji's dad. I might be wrong, but I don't know how to describe him to you. He's just a guy, but something about him reminds me of Kisoji. Finally, we have concept art for four thugs that we get to fight in the back alley. I say 3 because the focus battle only shows 3 thugs. And interestingly enough, between the first trailer and the latest images of the game that we saw on the official website, they replaced one of the thugs. I don't know why they replaced one. All 4 of them definitely appear in the story. We got to see them in some official artwork and all, but for some reason we only get to fight 3, and at one point they decided to replace one of them for some reason. Yeah, they're pretty basic. I don't really like them, but then again, you're not supposed to like them. They're supposed to be jerks that you beat up in the back alley, so I guess their design works for that. So yeah, that's half of the gallery, and I already spent pretty much half an hour talking about it, but the next half of the gallery is going to go much faster. It's pretty much just location images that we've already seen on the official website and the development blog. A lot of the images are from Nagumohara Junior High School. Nothing much interesting to say about these images, although there is one that got me laughing like crazy. Luckily for me, we actually got to see a glimpse of that image on the blog, so I can show it to you. It's this image of one of the classrooms, and this image is absolutely hysterical to me. like, let me explain. You see this classroom. Look at like the lighting. It looks really dark. Almost looks like given like looking at the light coming from the windows, it looks like it's like the end of the day, early evening maybe. And like the classroom is empty. There's no one, no teacher, no students. But if you look at the tables, you can see some students left their bags behind. So it doesn't look like it's the end of the day and they all left. It's more like, it's almost like they all disappeared. And the only people there in that room besides you are 2 Unmeis. Like they did this thing on all images. They just put like copies of Unmei everywhere just to get like reference for like for scale. So that makes sense. It just copy paste the same image of Unmei. But right now it looks so menacing. Like it really looks like you're in a horror movie where you're alone in this classroom and you're like, I have to get out of here, but you can't get out of here because there are 2 Unmei doppelgangers just standing guard in front of the doors. Like you can't escape from here. You're in this classroom with us forever. So, I don't know, just looking at this image made me laugh so hard. And even looking at it now as I'm recording this, I just can't help laughing. Yeah, Unmei is accidentally a great horror movie villain. Oh my god, the Unmei doppelgangers. Like, the more I look at the pictures, like, Unmei is absolutely everywhere on this concept art. He's everywhere. It's so funny. There is one piece of concept art, though, where he doesn't appear. And it's in front of a really fancy house. And the person appearing in front of that house for scale is instead Sakurazaki. And that makes me wonder, you know, that guy whom I think was his dad looks like he was like wearing a very fancy, expensive suit. I'm thinking, what if his dad is like an architect or something, like some really rich guy, like he's from a really rich family. What if that fancy house that we get to see Sakurazaki doppelgangers in front of, what if that house is actually Sakurazaki's house? Even the inside of the house looks really, really expensive, really fancy. There's like one giant room with like a video projector. It looks like a very like someone's personal projection room. Like, again, they don't use Unmei for scale, they use Sakurazaki. So it really seems to me like this is Sakurazaki's house, and I'm really curious about his relationship with his dad and the rest of his family, really. But yeah, besides that, it's just many locations from Nagumohara's junior high school. We get to see the town as well. Most of these images have been made public before, so there's not much else I can say about it. One of these images, though, is the Nagumohara hospital. So yeah, if you're wondering if this game has a hospital that we visit, there definitely is one. It wouldn't be Inazuma 11 without a hospital. Last location before I move on to the really interesting part is someone's bedroom. We get to see the inside of a bedroom. I don't know whose bedroom it is, it doesn't look like it could be Sakurazaki, or at least like it doesn't look like it belongs to the same fancy house I mentioned. But it's a room that has a lot of like football stuff, like posters, like a little football uniform, and like it doesn't seem like it could be Unmei. But also it looks too childish and too nice for Sakurazaki. So I don't know, I wonder who that is. The one thing I really like about this image though, like there are two things I really like. The first one is that on the bed there's a little IKEA shark, like the blah or something. I don't remember what it's called or how you pronounce it, but like that whoever's living in that bedroom has that shark plushie. And the second thing, on the desk, on that person's desk, there's a little Jibanyan papercraft figure. And like, it's so tiny on the image, you could easily miss it. But like the moment I saw it, I was like, oh, that's such a cool nod. I like it. That's really cute. Okay, now the really interesting stuff. And this is where I enter theory mode. So this is a theory I've had for quite some time regarding the teams we'll be facing during the original phase of Football Frontier. Up until recently, we knew of at least two teams. The first one is Eastwind, or in Japanese it's called Tofu. This is the team that has been presented to us in the strategy meeting video. They're described as being one of the strongest opponents in the regionals, which seems to hint that it's not going to be the first match that we play, but also not the final one either. The other team we knew of was called Nishinomiya. Now, this is a Japanese name, Nishinomiya. We don't know what the localized name is going to be, and we only got to hear their name in one of the cutscenes in the 4th trailer, where the announcer says the first match of the original preliminaries is about to start, Nagumohara versus Nishinomiya. Now, the interesting thing is that in Japanese, these names all contain one of the 4 cardinal directions. The Na in Nagumohara means south. Eastwind, well, it's in the name, it's east. The To in Tofu is east. And finally, in Nishinomiya, you have Nishi, which is west. So it really seemed like all the teams in Kyushu would have one of the cardinal directions in their names. If you look at the emblems, Nagumohara's emblem has the kanji for south. That's the Na in Nagumohara once again. So my theory up to that point was that all the teams in the regionals will be named after cardinal directions. And so Nagumohara would be facing, in order, the west team, Nishinomiya, the east team, Eastwind, and then finally the northern team. And this is why I think this new team that we've seen in the gallery is not going to be our first opponent in the story. Originally, I did think they were Nishinomiya, because looking at their uniform's design, it kinda looked like the sun setting in the west, and like the orange color would be like the color of a sunset. So I really think at first that these characters would be the first team we face in the story, Nishinomiya. But now that I've seen the gallery, I know this is not the case, because near the end of the gallery, we get to see the other schools. We get to see Nishinomiya, with the school's emblem, which, as expected, features the kanji for west. Immediately after that, we get to see Eastwind, so it's the same image that we've seen in the video for that team. And finally, we get to see one last school with an emblem that looks like a sun with the north kanji at the center. And the north kanji can also be seen on the uniforms of these new characters. So these guys are definitely not Nishinomiya, they're actually from the northern team. And I think given the order in the gallery, it really seems like the northern team is the final one that we face in the regionals. Even just looking at the schools themselves, like Nishinomiya looks like the most basic ass school I've ever seen. Like really, it looks like the school I went to as a kid. It's super basic. Meanwhile, Eastwind, you know, it kind of starts looking a bit more imposing and stuff like, okay, no, this is a big school, you know. And then the northern school. Man, I wish I could show you this. It's like, it looks so majestic. It's super big, has a really tall central building. There are palm trees. There's a huge garden with a fountain. It looks really amazing. Like, this can't be the first school that you fight. This has to be the final boss of the regionals, you know what I mean? So yeah, my prediction for the story is that this northern team will show up in chapter 1, but only as Raimon's opponent in a match. And they're really only going to be there to showcase how good of a team Raimon is. Then, in the next chapters, we will work our way through the regionals, which will conclude with a final match against the northern team. They're going to be the strongest team in all Kyushu, they're going to be really hard, we're going to beat them, and then we're going to remember, wait a second, this was the final boss of the regionals, but they were nothing compared to Raimon. This was our toughest challenge yet, but the hardest part is yet to come. I am 99% convinced that this is how the story will play out. Anyways, the last few images aren't super interesting. We get to see the new Raimon school, which looks really nice. We also get to see the Fulbro Frontier Stadium, and these illustrations are really interesting to me because the scoreboard is actually showing the results of a match between Inakuni Raimon and Seisho. That made me realize, wait a minute, this is not a piece of Victory Road concept art. This is Aries concept art. They just included a piece of concept art from 2016 in there. And I mean that makes sense. Like, that makes sense why they would want to reuse it. Like, they design an entire stadium. They want to keep. They're not going to redesign another one from scratch. Obviously, they're going to keep it. But I don't know. I'm really happy at least that like a piece of that game's development history was preserved that way, and we got to see it in high resolution on our screens. It's a really nice surprise. The final few images I want to talk about are pictures from Chronicle mode. These images aren't new. They've been here since the reveal trailer at Level 5 Vision last year, and you can still see them on the official website. These images were meant to illustrate the Bond Alley, which is the area that you go to recruit players after unlocking them in the player's universe. We still don't know much about that area, but now that I get to see these images in full resolution, I'm beginning to notice interesting things. The first one is this image of a football pitch. You can see the Inazuma V caravan parked in the background, and it makes me wonder, what if it's the area we go to when we want to recruit someone? Like, if it's a character that needs to be defeated in a soccer battle, maybe we come to this pitch. The second image shows a street, which looks like it might be nearby the football pitch. The interesting part about this is that there's the Inazuma Tower over there, but it's not the Inazuma Tower that we know from Inazuma Town, because when you look at the surroundings, it looks nothing like where the actual tower is located. And it makes me wonder, what if this place is like some kind of artificial recreation of Inazuma Town? If you look back to the gameplay footage of Chronicle mode, the overworld map that we go through to do the challenge routes is called Inazuma History Town. So that makes me wonder, what if, like, in the future, or whenever, wherever the character from Chronicle mode is coming from, what if, like, in the future, people are so crazy about Raimon and their friends that they built a replica of Inazuma Town called Inazuma History Town, where they can just, like, play football with all these 4,500 kids from the past. I don't know. Like, it really seems to me like this is some kind of artificial area with a bunch of landmarks from Inazuma Town. The other evidence of that is that commercial gallery thing that kind of makes me think of the commercial gallery of Inazuma Town. There are several shops that are reminiscent of actual locations in the Inazuma 11 series. Like, there's a restaurant called Rai Rai Den, like the actual Rai Rai Den noodles restaurant. There's also a shop that looks like that shop where you go to buy move manuals. So it looks like the actual, like, commercial district of Inazuma Town, but at the same time it looks artificial. Like, you can see the words Kizuna written everywhere. Like no, we are definitely in Bond Alley. And there's this little, like, futuristic football sign, like a holographic ball that's being displayed above one of the shops. Like, it seems a bit too futuristic to be the actual Inazuma Town. And finally, everywhere on these three images, we'll get to see these little flags, little green flags with, like, some kind of I don't know what that is. Even if I zoom on the image, I can't really tell what that is. It looks like kind of like a planet with, like, a little ring like Saturn. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to represent, but that logo is absolutely everywhere. Around the football pitch, in the street, in the gallery, it's absolutely everywhere. So it really seems like, I don't know, the logo for for that Inazuma history town, maybe, or maybe the logo for Chronicle mode. I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to represent, but to me, it really seems like Chronicle mode is going to be set primarily in this this artificial Inazuma history town. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I found interesting in the Victory Gallery. The last 4 images are just artworks of all the characters who are playable in the beta. We get to see the Inazuma All-Stars, the National Champs, and of course the Alias Masters. And finally, one last illustrations showing the characters from Story Mode. So all the Nagamahara kids, Yagyu still wearing his uniform, as I mentioned, and also Endo and Tsukikage in the background, as well as Soramiya, the captain of the Northern team. Yeah, so like this really seems to be a teaser for Story Mode. These are all the main characters we can expect to see in that chapter. And yeah, that really makes me look forward to Story Mode. Like at the time of recording this video, we don't know when the update is going to drop, but presumably it should drop very soon because it was announced for early May. And, well, we are in early May right now. There's an ambassador meeting planned for this Friday, Friday, May 10th, just at the end of what would be called early May. In Japanese, they actually use a term that means the first 10 days of a month. So presumably that update is going to drop sometime this week. I really hope it does. I'll definitely play Story Mode on this channel, so definitely look forward to that if you enjoy the Let's Play so far and you want to see more of the game. I will also do everything else that's been added in single player mode, so the legendary hero class Alias Masters, that sounds like it's going to be quite a challenge, and also trying out Beta, the new playable character. So yeah, definitely have some more Inazuma 11 Victory Road content coming very soon, so I hope you'll look forward to that and I hope you'll enjoy. With that being said, I've reached the end of the Victory Gallery and I'm looking at my my recording window and I spent a lot longer than I thought I would. Hopefully if I cut things down it will be under 45 minutes, but yeah, it's going to be a long one in the end. But at least it's not 2 hours. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about the Victory Gallery. Everyone, thank you so much for watching / listening to these ramblings, and I'll see you soon for some more Inazuma 11 Victory Road Beta. See ya!